Hamilton, champion of the world!
Following Lewis Hamilton's 6th Drivers' Championship title in Austin, Texas last year, there was plenty to be excited about heading into the 2020 season. The driver rivalries would be renewed, pre-season testing had hinted the battle for midfield supremacy would be tight, and Hamilton himself would be gunning for a record-equalling 7th F1 world title to match Michael Schumacher. But if Hamilton, or indeed any other driver, was to win the championship in 2020, it would have to be done in one of the most extraordinary years in recent memory.
The World Health Organization has just announced the coronavirus outbreak is a global public health emergency.
In March this year, all the teams travelled to Melbourne for the season opener, but no one knew what was on the horizon for humankind. In a truly unprecedented situation for modern times, F1, like the rest of the world, eventually had to succumb and adapt to the severity of the coronavirus. With the pandemic wreaking havoc globally, the Chinese Grand Prix had already been postponed before members of the McLaren team fell foul of the virus in Australia. Their withdrawal ultimately led to the race being cancelled and was to be the start of the season unfolding in dramatic fashion, as more and more venues had to pull out of the 2021 calendar.
I can finally confirm that this year's Australian Grand Prix is off.
This is a race we always look forward to, and we're sorry not to have it.
All the freight is being packed up. Does it go to Bahrain? Nobody knows.
I can't see us starting this season until May or June at the earliest.
Sporting event after sporting event is falling foul of this.
Bahrain is now off.
The Monaco Grand Prix will not happen this year.
Another race gone.
Swimming in between your fingers.
Just trying to find things to do.
Charles Leclerc across the line to win the virtual Grand Prix.
I've never looked so good.
How was Captain Tom?
I'm feeling fine this morning. Sebastian Vettel will leave Ferrari.
Carlos Sainz will drive for Ferrari.
Daniel Ricciardo takes Sainz's seat.
Hey Nat, welcome to my crib.
Whoa! A win for George Russell!
Yeah.
Martin Luther King was fighting for this 60 years ago, and I could not stay silent.
Now the F1 season is about to get underway. Oh, they are smelling beautiful.
I'm ready, I feel fit. I hope you guys are all excited for what's to come up.
Really looking forward to getting racing again. Hopefully it's a good comeback for Formula 1. Okay, Lewis, it's hammer time.
What a race.
How about that?
Still we rise, guys. See you there.
See ya.
Hello everybody and welcome to the first official, at least I think it's official, Sky F1 vodcast.
Despite the national and international lockdowns, the world adapted to its new way of living and discovered new ways to keep up to date with all the latest news and gossip from the F1 world, including a busy spring of driver transfers. But in June, after the virus severity seemed to have subsided, and after months of waiting, the F1 world received the optimistic news that the sport would attempt to restart in July, with a rescheduled calendar of 8 races based in Europe, and that this was expected to grow, with F1 also considering additional venues that had not been raced at for years or ever before. The Algarve International Circuit in Portimao was added to the calendar, along with the Nürburgring and Imola, with the latter being shortened to a 2-day event. Ferrari's own Mugello circuit was added, as was a return to Istanbul Park. In addition to the rescheduled Russian, Italian and Belgian Grand Prix, a season-ending doubleheader in Bahrain and a finale in Abu Dhabi would complete a 17-race calendar in just 5.5 months, a remarkable feat achieved by F1. And it all started with the Austrian Grand Prix. 112 days ago, we left the paddock in Australia, not knowing when or even if we would return to racing this year. But we're back. It looks very different. Everyone who goes through those turnstiles has to wear one of these at all times. But one thing hasn't changed. 20 cars are about to take to the track. F1 is back. Welcome to the 2020 season.
Over 100 days since we left Melbourne, F1 is the first international sport to return. How proud are you of that?
Look, I'm first and foremost proud of really everybody who's involved in getting us to this place. It has been an incredibly challenging stretch of time. We've overused the word fluid, but every day you wake up to a different surprise and a different circumstance. And really, I think the commitment of the people in Formula One, the FIA, the teams has been incredible, and the effort. Really the partnership, has been, I think, a wonderful testament to what makes Formula One special, in particular in a challenging time like this.
So, after a 5-month hiatus, the drivers and team personnel returned to a much quieter paddock amidst changes made to keep everyone safe. In addition to the new safety measures and precautions, the biggest visible change in 2020 was the lack of fans. They weren't allowed in to watch the races, which had to take place behind closed doors. But as those fans sat on sofas around the world, all eyes were on Austria as F1 finally made its long-awaited return.
And it's lights out and away we go. And Bottas gets away very nicely indeed. Verstappen alongside Lando Norris. Albon and Hamilton going wheel to wheel as Bottas through turn 1. Hamilton had nowhere else to go in that instance, and there is Lewis Hamilton now ahead of Lando Norris.
And Lewis then with DRS, he's going to be in great shape when it comes to the braking zone of turn 4. He might even be in 3rd place, and he is.
And what's happened to Max Verstappen? Verstappen going slowly, and that is disaster.
And Max has had enough.
And I think Daniel Ricciardo is another one that's coming into the pits with yet more mechanical problems here. Sebastian Vettel gets past Lance Stroll. Magnussen, for some reason or another, got the braking all wrong.
And that might be a safety car.
They're going wheel to wheel. Leclerc's on the inside. Carlos Sainz will be his teammate next year and crashes into Sebastian Vettel. Perez breezes this past Lando Norris there.
The gearbox issue is critical. Please stay off the curbs, both cars.
This is not looking good for George Russell. What has happened here?
And lost the pole front right corner.
Albon is all over the back of Hamilton, who once again forces in the long way round. Norris goes the long way round on Perez.
No, not
Albon again, no, with Lewis Hamilton.
Patience, Alex, you need some patience.
Lewis Hamilton is given a 5-second penalty for causing a collision. Here goes Charles Leclerc down the inside on Sergio Perez. God, that was late.
Oh no,
Alex Albon. What's happened here? And Norris has managed to get past Sergio Perez, and it was a bit bumpy going into turn 3. Oh no, Daniel Kvyat's out of the race. Valtteri Bottas wins the season opener here in Austria, and Lando Norris gets on the podium for the first time in Formula One.
Where is Lando? I really want to give you a hug now, mate, but I can't. A fantastic race. You guys were always near the front.
Yeah.
But you got there in the end. You got that first podium. How does it feel?
I don't know. I'm speechless, I think. There was a few points in the race where I thought I kind of fudged it up quite a bit. I dropped to 5th with a few laps to go. Carlos was almost getting past me. But I didn't give up, and I managed to get back past Perez. And I ended up on the podium.
In the days after Lando's first ever F1 podium, it was announced who'd be backfilling the seat left at Renault by Daniel Ricciardo, the driver who'd be joining Lando at McLaren for 2021. Renault revealed that Fernando Alonso would make a sensational racing return to F1, 20 months after waving goodbye to the sport. It would be the Spaniard's 3rd stint with the team that he won both of his titles with, and he would partner Esteban Ocon on a 2-year deal. Exciting times ahead for Renault. Could the team take that energy into the inaugural Styrian Grand Prix?
It's the first ever Styrian Grand Prix. It's lights out, away we go. Hamilton and Verstappen get away well. Sainz is already closing up on Verstappen. Bottas on his own in 4th place. Hamilton leads into turn 1. Sainz goes through and off the track ahead of Verstappen. Comes back on behind the Red Bull. They're all keeping out of trouble so far, apart from the 2 Ferraris. Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc make contact. Sebastian Vettel being wheeled into the garage. The first retirement of the race. Paul di Resta's keeping tabs on Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, he's having to retire, Crofty. Bad day for Ferrari.
And that was a lunge down the inside from Sergio Perez on Lando Norris.
Sainz with the DRS down the outside.
He's coming back again, though. He might try around the outside of turn 5 here, you know, and he does, Sergio Perez.
Wow.
Nice move indeed.
Did you like that one, man?
And he's got DRS once again, and is this where Bottas makes his move, and it's a Mercedes 1-2 then at the moment. Hamilton leads, Valtteri Bottas in the second, but Verstappen going back, going the long way around the outside, and they're still going wheel to wheel. Bottas thought he got the move done, Verstappen's having none of it. Bottas might have to yield here, and he does. Can the Finn get it done this time around? This time he has got that move done. Now Sergio Perez having a go, and Alex Albon, oh my lord! Stroll goes down the inside on Daniel Ricciardo. This time he gets the move done, but watch out, there's Lando Norris right there. This has been a very comfortable afternoon for Lewis Hamilton. He comes round the final corner to win the Styrian Grand Prix. Lando Norris on the last lap. He got the fastest lap last week. He's got a place ahead of Lance Stroll this week, and he's up into 6th place. Norris might yet take 5th, you know, as he goes wide. Perez. Norris is past the racing point. He's done 2 in the same lap.
What a fantastic job, guys. Thank you so much.
Max Verstappen had it off on the lap to the grid.
I hit the wall. Copy, Max. Incredible work, guys. That's unbelievable.
It's lights out, and away we go. And it's a tentative start for everyone, but Charles Leclerc, brilliant start from him. Sergio Perez slow away. Hamilton is clear of Lance Stroll. Then comes Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas has had a stinker as Max Verstappen goes down the inside and into 3rd place.
Bottas jumped the start.
These are chaotic times at the Hungaroring. Here is again Bottas on Leclerc. It's better this time around for Valtteri Bottas.
But these soft are rubbish.
And Alex Albon slipping past Sebastian Vettel.
Can he take a lunge up the inside? Yes, he can.
Alex Albon moved up 6 places from his grid spot at the start. He pushes Lando Norris wide. Norris is having absolutely none of it. Claire on the hard compound tyre has got the job done this time. Oh dear, that is Nicholas Latifi. Look at Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc there. Sainz, what a move on the Ferrari driver and his teammate for next year.
Only a mistake in the pit stop can stand between Lewis Hamilton and another commanding win around the Hungaroring. Steady, steady, not quick, was it?
Albon's put his Red Bull up into 5th place ahead of Sebastian Vettel. No one's ever won 3 races in a row at the Hungaroring. Lewis Hamilton's done it now, though. It's the Hungarian Grand Prix for the 8th time for Lewis Hamilton.
Get in there, Lewis. Absolute masterclass, mate.
Fantastic effort this weekend, guys.
Crossing the line in 2nd place. It's the mistake turned into a podium for Max Verstappen.
Yes, guys, what a result.
After the opening triple header, F1 was back on familiar ground for most teams with back-to-back races at Silverstone. But on the eve of the practice sessions, the news broke that Racing Point's Sergio Perez would miss the British Grand Prix after testing positive for COVID-19. With the Mexican self-isolating, there was an unexpected call-up for Nico Hülkenberg, who 24 hours earlier had been sat at home eating a pastry.
4:30 p.m. Yesterday afternoon got the call, took a plane here, seat fitted until 2 a.m., 8 a.m. this morning into the simulator for an hour. Bit of prep work, so it was a short night, but all worthwhile.
British Grand Prix, let's do this!
It's lights out and away we go. Verstappen gets away well. Can he catch the 2 Mercedes? Off is Kevin Magnussen. That might be a safety car, it is.
Albon's got a 5-second penalty.
Ocon's going to go down the inside of Lance Stroll. Stroll will find this out. Ocon continues the battle. Just has to yield for 1 moment. Danny Kvyat had a very, very big crash.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry.
Once again, we see the safety car. Round the outside goes Lando Norris. Has this time gone? Daniel Ricciardo. Norris isn't satisfied with Ward Renault. He wants his teammate as well and goes wide.
It's in direction. Dangerous driving. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Oh, let's off on the track.
Lando Norris goes down the inside of Romain Grosjean. He's going to get past at Stowe once again. Oh!
Yeah, that was sketchy.
Now he's had 1 warning, Romain Grosjean. It's almost like a Hamilton personal track day. The Silverstone race is starting to really come alive here. Kimi Räikkönen has had a front wing failure. Now what's happened to Valtteri Bottas? And now Max Verstappen has passed Valtteri Bottas for second place. Carlos Sainz, he's got tyre problems as well. The gap between Hamilton and Verstappen going down all the time. But look at the state of that Mercedes car. For Lewis Hamilton, the checkered flag will come in the nick of time. Don't ever leave before the checkered flag.
As one of the original venues in the first ever F1 season, it seemed fitting that the Silverstone circuit should play a pivotal role in 2020 and host a second race to mark the 70th anniversary of the sport.
I was 30 years old when it all began at Silverstone.
It's a great and colourful day for British motorsport.
The cars lined up to the start and all eyes were on the British one.
And from that moment, I was captivated.
Go at Silverstone!
You either do well or forget it.
Is that clock? Is that clock?
Fernando is faster than you.
And I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat.
70 years of Formula One history.
I dedicate it to the fans out there.
I've seen it all.
Oh my goodness!
The good.
And now Villeneuve's in second position, and this is the last lap. Oh, he went round the outside of Michael Schumacher.
The bad.
Oh, this is quite appalling.
And the downright unforgettable.
What a victory for Pastor Maldonado!
Only one team have been the constant in F1. They've not done too badly.
The hills are alive with the Tifosi.
In the early days, drivers did over 100 laps, something of which I've lots of experience. In the 50s and 60s, we had motor racing titans.
Yet another victory fell to the invincible combination of Fangio and Mercedes-Benz.
Jim Clark romps home to his 25th Grand Prix win.
Since then, others have truly left their mark on the sport. Alan, Damon, Nika, Michael, Sebastian, Lewis. You didn't have to wear a helmet to be a game changer. We've seen the greatest sporting comeback, and one driver changed F1 forever. But as we get older, F1 gives us new friends.
How's Captain Tom?
New feelings, new stories. History is not a burden on the memory.
Hey, look at that! Oh no! Mark Webber's gone completely over the top.
It is illumination of the soul. Happy 70th birthday, young friend.
It's the 70th anniversary. Formula One Grand Prix lights out and away we go. And the two Mercedes then head towards Abbey. Bottas ahead of Hamilton. Sebastian Vettel has had problems at the start.
So front left, critical, also rear left.
Yeah, there's a lot of tyre management going on.
We're a little bit close for tyres, then just pull back.
This is the only chance of being close to the Mercedes and not just sitting behind like a grandma.
Alex Albon goes around the outside of Stowe.
Brave.
And they get very, very close. That's good racing, it really is.
Verstappen is the real threat here. He's one stopping.
Bottas is coming down the main straight. Verstappen now gets to the pit lane exit. This is going to be so tight, and it is the Mercedes out in front.
He should take very little time to dispatch the Mercedes.
Verstappen has got a car length in front, and the inside line for Bottas isn't going to help him. Verstappen is away.
Forget the tyre management as fast as you can.
He was the hunter, now he's the hunted.
The tyre's not going to blow though, right?
No, we think it's safe. It's just a blistering.
And Lewis, I think, is coming in because you can see the Mercedes crew rushing out. Max Verstappen's got 5 laps and 5 seconds between himself and Valtteri Bottas.
You are free to race. You just need to keep it clean.
But Hamilton's got the pace to go round the outside at Brooklands, and Max Verstappen leads, and it's now Lewis Hamilton in second place. Verstappen gives Red Bull the win, their first here at Silverstone since 2012.
Oh, that's what an amazing race.
And yeah, we just kept pushing, and yeah, an incredible result, of course, to win here. We just had a great day. I think everything worked out well. We had the right strategy. Everything was running smooth. So yeah, of course, incredibly happy to win.
So after the back-to-back races at Silverstone, Lewis Hamilton topped the Drivers' Championship and had a 30-point lead over Max Verstappen. Valtteri Bottas sat in third, with Charles Leclerc in fourth, a further 28 points back.
It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton does get a very good start. Bottas behind him, and then comes Max Verstappen. Bottas lost out.
Well, he's getting mugged left, right and centre, isn't he?
And Hamilton is picking up the pace.
Here we go.
Yeah.
They pulled the pin.
Here comes Esteban Ocon, and he was almost onto the grass, and he's definitely going down the inside of Kimi Raikkonen. Oh, here comes Max Verstappen. Finally, he gets rid of the soft tyres. Ocon dives down the inside into turn one. Alex Albon tries to follow him as well. Oh, he only just avoided the Haas there going round turn three. And there goes Alex Albon round the outside at turn one of Esteban Ocon. But round the outside, Leclerc's going to go for it once again. Norris really struggling for traction. That is Charles Leclerc.
Engine stop. Welcome. What do you think about going to the end with this tire?
I'm fine, we've got nothing to lose. Look what the that idiot. I was already turning and he almost took me off.
Whoa, he hit the curb, didn't he? Hit that sausage curb, or it certainly looked that way. It's another Spanish Grand Prix victory for Lewis Hamilton.
Get in there, Lewis. Nice work, mate.
Too fast for freedom. Sometimes it all falls down. These chains never leave me. I keep dragging them around.
Lights out and away we go. They weren't held for long at the start. Hamilton gets away well. Bottas is trying to challenge him though. And Ricciardo on the outside of Max Verstappen, who takes that inside line once again.
We have one push now.
We do, but we agreed not to use it against each other.
I never heard of that.
There goes Danny Kvyat on Charles Leclerc.
Looks like a no grip on these tires.
Yellow flag.
That is a big off, and there's two cars involved there. It's Giovinazzi and George Russell.
I'm okay.
On board with Daniel Ricciardo, though, has got DRS, and he's got Sergio Perez in his sights, and Daniel Ricciardo puts his Renault up into 5th place. Here comes Alex Albon. He's going to have to go the long way round, and the bus stop chicane breaks that much later. And a nice move from Alex Albon. And we almost, we did have a bit of a coming together between the two Ferraris. The DRS will open for Daniel Ricciardo. Look how he's breezing past Pierre Gasly. Gasly doing his best to force Albon the long way round, but this time that pace advantage was more than enough.
Everything you got, Valtteri.
And Sergio Perez does move that racing point up into 11th place. Here comes Pierre Gasly on Sebastian Vettel. And Sebastian Vettel locks up horribly.
I tell you, I'm going to get eaten now.
Lando, we've had a warning. Yeah, I don't care about the guys behind.
Just avoid the curbs.
Valtteri Bottas locks up. Pierre Gasly has just got past Sergio Perez. It's the Belgian Grand Prix for Lewis Hamilton.
F1 travelled to Monza next for the first of 3 races to take place in Italy in 2020. But ahead of the Grand Prix, there was some huge news as Williams Deputy Team Principal Claire Williams announced she was to step down from her role with the team following the conclusion of the Grand Prix that weekend. The news came shortly after the team was sold to American private investment firm Doralton Capital.
It's been a tough couple of weeks.
It's been a tough few months, but actually, really, in reality, it's probably been a tough few years. If we're honest about what life has been like at Williams, it hasn't been easy for one reason or another, but obviously we went into the strategic review process with our eyes wide open. We knew what the outcome could possibly be, and we've had to sell the team probably sooner than we would certainly have liked, but we have, and that's sometimes the cards that life deals you, and we get on with it. And I think the most important thing for us is that Williams is in good hands, and it's going to have a really bright future.
It's lights out and away we go. And Hamilton, I think, gets the better start ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas. Carlos Sainz, great reaction from him. He's up in 2nd place. Now that is Alex Albon getting it all wrong at that first chicane.
And look at that. Mr. McLaren then, second and third now. Bottas wide in the second, Lesmo. What a dismal first lap he's having.
And Daniel Ricciardo is now attacking him, and Valtteri Bottas is down to 6th. Oh, and Sebastian Vettel locks up, goes straight through the polystyrene blocks. And that is Kevin Magnussen pulling over to the side of the track.
Oh, something broke.
Lewis Hamilton under investigation for entering the pit lane when it's closed. Hamilton leads away as the light goes green. Sainz, who played by the rules as the lights go green, is down in 8th place. That's Charles Leclerc, and that is a very big accident.
Are you okay? Yeah, was a big crash.
We're red flagging the race. Lewis Hamilton has a 10-second stop-go penalty.
2 laps I can get at least a 5-second gap.
Lights out and away we go again here at Monza. Lewis Hamilton gets a very good start then. Oh, and that looks like Lance Stroll could have had a brake problem.
23-second gap to the pack.
That's
This is the first time that Pierre Gasly has led a Formula One Grand Prix.
Carlos, you can be patient with Raikkonen.
I'm worried about Gasly.
One at a time, Carlos, one at a time.
It's Gasly, Sainz and Stroll, the 1, 2, 3 in this dramatic Italian Grand Prix.
3 laps to go, Carlos. Maximum focus now, no mistakes.
Pierre Gasly wins the Italian Grand Prix. Oh my, is that just wonderful?
Oh my God, yes!
It's crazy, honestly. I'm just so happy. It's amazing, honestly. I'm lost for words for what's just happened to us. You know, it's unbelievable. I've been through so many things in the last 18 months, and it's better than anything I expected. And you know, we focused with AlphaTauri since I joined them last year, day by day, race by race, improving on ourselves, getting stronger race after race. And they gave me my first podium in F1 last year in Brazil, and today they gave me my first win in F1 in Italy, in Monza, for an Italian race team. And I don't know what to say, to be fair. It's just unbelievable.
Gasly's entertaining win put him in 8th position in the Drivers' Championship on 43 points, with Lance Stroll, who finished 3rd, tied on 57 points, alongside Lando Norris. Deservedly jubilant scenes for Gasly on and off the podium. But the other memory for race fans will be seeing Claire Williams leave the F1 paddock for the last time. The first 8 races had successfully gone ahead, and it was now time to head to the breathtaking Ferrari-owned Mugello circuit, a fitting venue for the team to celebrate their 1,000th race in F1 in the Tuscan Grand Prix. But on the eve of the celebrations, in an action-packed fortnight of news, Sebastian Vettel caused a stir after revealing he would be replacing Sergio Perez at Racing Point for 2021, with the team rebranding as the Aston Martin F1 team.
Nothing to prepare me, really. I basically found out officially last night. So, yeah, all the feedback that I was getting was that I was pretty sure, and they were pretty sure, and we all wanted to continue. So things changed in the end, and at least I'm more relaxed. You know, not having that uncertainty now.
You know, not an easy decision. I think there's 2 main factors. One is obviously believing in the team's ability to do well. I think part of that is, you know, already proven by the track results, the track record this year. But I believe there's more to come. And the second big one was what I want to do in my future, with my future. Whether it might be time to stop, time to do something else, or time to keep going. And I believe, obviously, I've made my decision. Everyone knows, but yeah, I think I have more to give, and I'm, you know, looking forward to the task.
Welcome along, everybody. We're here in Tuscany, celebrating the legend that is Ferrari in Formula One. And it's lights out and away we go. Valtteri Bottas pointing towards Lewis Hamilton, gets an excellent start. But there's a tangle there, and it's the McLaren. And Carlos Sainz has been spun round. Oh no, look! look, it's the Red Bull of Max Verstappen that's out and into the gravel.
I'm stuck. This is what you get with this.
The safety car has gone, the lights gone green, and Bottas is away, and there's a big crash at the back.
This is the worst thing I've seen ever. Fortunately, this is what happens when you turn off the safety car lights so late.
And we've red flagged the race for the second weekend in a row. You thought Monza was crazy, then Mugello is absolute madness. It's lights out and away we go again. Once again, Bottas gets a really good start. There goes Lewis Hamilton into the lead. And there goes Lance Stroll on Charles Leclerc. We see Daniel Ricciardo gaining on Charles Leclerc, leaving Charles Leclerc for dust.
For the second tyre set, I want opposite to Lewis.
And look what they're putting on Hamilton's car. Someone's had it off. I think that is Lance Stroll. So a second red flag. It's lights out and away we go once more. Hamilton does get a great start. Ricciardo gets a brilliant start. He's ahead of Bottas. It now opens up for Alex Albon. Lovely move from the Red Bull driver. It's another new track to win at for Lewis Hamilton. He crosses the line and wins the Tuscan Grand Prix.
So it was Mercedes' third 1-2 of the season and Lewis Hamilton's sixth victory of 2020. But it was smiles all round for Alex Albon after he picked up his first ever F1 podium.
I'm really happy. I feel, I can breathe. It feels nice to be here.
It's lights out and away we go. So Hamilton gets away well, as does Max Verstappen this week, but Valtteri Bottas is already ahead of him, and Daniel Ricciardo slots into fourth, and Esteban Ocon has made up places from the start as well. It's a long run down towards turn 2, plenty of time to sort themselves out. Bottas is going round the outside of Lewis Hamilton, but he has to go wide, and that's the Red Bull there that goes straight on at Max Verstappen, and he's not the only one. Carlos Sainz has gone through the bollards and has spun round as well. It's Hamilton who leads. Oh, and that's a mistake by Lance Stroll. He got onto the curb and Stroll is out of the race and into the barriers.
And Lewis, we have a 10-second time penalty.
What happened?
There's all manner of action going on right at the back of the grid. But Perez now fighting him on the inside through turn 3. Has he got ahead by the time they put the brakes on into turn 4? The answer is a resounding yes. The 10-second penalty has been served.
How far have I dropped back now?
Currently down to P11.
Here goes Sebastian Vettel down the inside of Romain Grosjean. They have to go wheel to wheel and Grosjean goes off the track. The only man to be on the podium in the last 3 Russian Grand Prix. He's on the podium this afternoon, and it's the top step of the podium as Valtteri Bottas wins the Russian Grand Prix.
Yes, mate! Get in there! Yes!
F1 headed to the Nürburgring in Germany, with many excited to see Ferrari Academy driver Mick Schumacher make his FP1 debut for Alfa Romeo. But the session was ultimately cancelled due to the bitterly cold and wet weather. Nico Hülkenberg also made yet another late appearance for Racing Point, replacing Lance Stroll, who felt unwell in the build-up to the Eiffel Grand Prix and would test positive for coronavirus on race day.
And it's lights out, away we go, and Hamilton gets away well. Valtteri Bottas tries to cover him off, but he's not got there in time, and Lewis Hamilton on the inside pushes his teammate wide. The two Mercedes scrapping away, and it looks like Valtteri Bottas regaining that lead.
Carlos, there could be a very small light shower in around 5 minutes.
He's got very good traction coming out of turn 1. He's going to have to live with a Ferrari all the way around turn 2. He is ahead, Daniel Ricciardo. He is in 4th place. That is Sebastian Vettel sliding around. There's a lock-up here by Bottas. Lewis Hamilton goes past Valtteri Bottas. Raikkonen locks up.
Yeah, we gave him plenty of space.
And we're on the green grass.
Yeah, Kvyat goes onto the green. Alex Albon takes his front wing out.
No power, no power.
This day is going from bad to worse for Valtteri Bottas.
A big loss of power now. I got no power at all.
We default 0.3. We might need to keep using that all race.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything.
Sergio Perez trying to get past Charles Leclerc, got much better traction out of that chicane, does get past Charles Leclerc, and that is Lando Norris out of this race, pulling over and parking up.
Yeah, the safety car can't be out for long, Nate, because the tyres are getting so cold.
And he has gone already. Verstappen is struggling a little bit, as you can see, and already locking up, as did Carlos Sainz as well. All the way round the outside, and they touch wheels. Hamilton takes the Eiffel Grand Prix, and Daniel Ricciardo gives Renault their first podium since Malaysia in 2011.
So the 9-year wait for a Renault podium was over, and even with a mask on, you could tell the smile was beaming on Daniel Ricciardo's face. But in an already crazy year, Lewis Hamilton equalled what for many was Michael Schumacher's unreachable record haul of 91 Grand Prix wins. With Hamilton in dominant form and with 6 races left in the season, could he go on to surpass it? Up next, it was yet another new track for the drivers to contend with as F1 travelled to the Algarve International Circuit for the first Grand Prix in Portugal since 1996 and the first ever at Portimão.
Welcome along to the 17th World Championship Portuguese Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. Hamilton ahead of Bottas, and Perez gets hit by Max Verstappen.
So Hamilton, for some reason, just hasn't been able to fire the tyres up.
Bottas ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Look what's happening here. Kimi Raikkonen really going for it with Charles Leclerc.
Sainz, right, he's passed, he's through. Sainz into the lead. That looked pretty close.
Grosjean and Giovinazzi. And that is Valtteri Bottas getting past Carlos Sainz as Mercedes retake the lead of this race. Lewis Hamilton getting past Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen up into the podium places. Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris along the main straight. Lance Stroll going very wide indeed and going off the track in his battle with Lando Norris.
What the f is doing?
Bottas moves over to the right-hand side. Hamilton pulls out, goes alongside, goes ahead and into the lead. Records are there to be broken, said Michael Schumacher. The record is broken. Lewis Hamilton wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. Hamilton has more wins than any other driver in Formula One history.
You are rewriting the history books. Well done, mate. What a fantastic job today.
It's such an honour to work with you guys. Thank you.
So Hamilton took his 92nd race win, passing 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher's record. He finished ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas by 25.592 seconds, the biggest gap of the season.
Congratulations, we're privileged to watch you making sporting history. Wow, did you do it in style?
Thank you so much. Well, first off, I owe to these guys here and back at the factory for just their tremendous work. They're continuously innovating and pushing the barrier even higher every year, the target. And it's just been such a privilege working with them, and I'm so grateful. No one's sitting back on the success. Everyone's pushing and pushing and pushing, and that's the most incredible thing to be surrounded by, because it inspires you. That collaboration, there's nothing quite like it.
Lewis Hamilton hits the front, your series leader.
I got Ron Dennis's phone number. I can phone him in 9 years, and he might give me a free drive in McLaren.
If you can do this after 6 races, what might he achieve in the future? Surely the first of many.
He was a racing legend and a racing hero, and such an icon in British motorsport.
He's broken a lot of barriers down, he's broken a lot of records, and he's been a star.
I can't believe it, man. Just like one of the greatest races of all. As a driver, my goal one day is to hopefully be respected as he was.
I want to shake his hand and say congratulations to be in another club.
It is a British record equalling 31st Grand Prix win.
Since I was 5, I always wanted to emulate it, and I always wanted to be able to drive like he could. To match his wins is doesn't feel real at the moment.
Alain Prost waves the checkered flag. Hamilton picks up another win. It's a fantastic achievement. The record is equalled. Schumacher and Hamilton.
When you grow up watching someone and you generally idolize them, I didn't imagine that I'd be anywhere near Michael in terms of records. It's an incredible honor.
After the brilliant Portuguese Grand Prix, F1 drivers and fans alike had the return of two terrific tracks to look forward to. Imola would host its first race since 2006 before moving on to the Istanbul Park in Turkey.
Welcome along from Imola. It's lights out and away we go. So Bottas leads Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen leads Pierre Gasly, Ricciardo starts well. Verstappen gets ahead of Hamilton, Ricciardo has got ahead of Gasly as well. Oh, there's the Renault of Esteban Ocon a little bit close, and as you can see, Lance Stroll makes contact.
Okay, Jay, listen to me. I'm really sorry. We have to box. We have a terminal situation on the car. Gotta take out the pace now. Don't stop me.
Yeah, we're just getting held up here by Bottas. So if you've got a little bit more pace, we can do with it. Going to catch that traffic.
Wheel to wheel, Magnussen stays ahead going through the Villeneuve chicane. Leclerc is going to try and fight this. Alex Albon is coming to join this party as well. And unbelievably, round Tosa, it's like Schumacher and Montoya, isn't it? But this time it's Leclerc in the Ferrari and it's Kevin Magnussen, the other car who's part of the overtaking battle. Going round the outside, Charles Leclerc makes that move stick.
I have a problem.
If he pitted now, Lewis Hamilton would come out ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Verstappen finds a slipstream, gets a good toe, now tries to go round the outside and does get ahead of Valtteri Bottas.
I'm getting a massive headache.
The Fighting Viking looking like it is too much.
Oh dear, that's Max Verstappen.
Something broke on the car.
Behind the safety car, George Russell out as well.
Don't know what to say.
Out of the race, oh dear. I hope that man's okay. Daniel Ricciardo inherits third place. Villeneuve chicane, Sergio Perez gets past Alex Albon who spins. It's 7 consecutive Constructors' Championships for Mercedes.
Holy mac and cheese balls.
Ricciardo once again on the podium, and this time remembering to do his shoey celebration. But his performance was yet again outshone by the efforts of the Mercedes team, who, by securing their 5th 1-2 of the season, won the World Constructors' Championship for a record-breaking 7th consecutive time.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? Everybody, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes? That's it.
It's 7 consecutive Constructors' Championships for Mercedes.
At the newly resurfaced Istanbul Park, there was to be a further twist to the season as Mercedes lost their 100% pole record for 2020, with Lewis Hamilton vying for his 7th title, only managing to qualify in 6th place, his lowest starting position in over 2 years. Bottas was in 9th, and surprising everyone, was an unexpected face claiming their maiden pole.
Stroll crosses the line, and he does go pole. Lance Stroll is on pole for the first time in his career. Let's go!
So could Lance Stroll turn his pole into a win, and could Bottas outscore his Mercedes teammate by 8 points to keep the drivers' title battle going?
Welcome along to the 8th World Championship Turkish Grand Prix. It's round 14. It's lights out and away we go, and they are crawling off the line, especially Max Verstappen. Hamilton on the inside of Daniel Ricciardo as Esteban Ocon, and crucially Valtteri Bottas spin out. Down the inside goes Alex Albon. Hamilton will try and fight it if he can, but he just hasn't got the grip to do so. And an 8-second lead for Lance Stroll.
It's a bit too long, what's going on? I think they were removing some tape on the brake duct.
Giovinazzi, he is out of this race. Now, is this the way to go? No, if you go that far wide, Lewis, you're going to lose a place, and he did.
Brakes aren't working.
Verstappen goes wide and spins as well.
Valtteri Bottas, at least his 3rd spin today, isn't it?
There is our race leader. There's Sergio Perez. There is Alex Albon.
So much wear, Brad.
Ricciardo not having the best of times. Sainz moves himself up into 6th place. And that's Alex Albon, who has spun around. Lewis Hamilton moves into 3rd place. That's another retirement for Kevin Magnussen. So Stroll has pitted there for a 2nd time and is now behind Max Verstappen. Here goes Hamilton on Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Turkish Grand Prix. Stroll has fallen back. The 2 Ferraris now ahead of the one-time race leader.
I've ever seen anything like this.
Verstappen in 6th place gets past his teammate Alex Albon. Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world. Sergio Perez on the podium. Sebastian Vettel is back on the podium.
That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man. I believe in you guys.
Yet another F1 podium, but the day, of course, will be remembered for one thing: the momentous achievement of Lewis Hamilton, who, with arguably one of the drives of his career, claimed his 7th Drivers' Championship, to equal the truly remarkable record of Michael Schumacher. Having already surpassed the German's number of race wins, Hamilton's 94th victory and the 7th title now made him the most successful F1 driver ever.
I definitely a bit lost for words. I think naturally I have to always start with saying such a huge thank you to all the guys that are here and all the guys back at the factory, at both our factories, and all our partners for enabling us and giving us this opportunity. You know, I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't join this team, and the journey we've been on has been monumental, and I'm so proud of them. I want to also say a big thank you to Team LH for sticking with me all these years, and then to my family, you know. We dreamed of this as when we were young, and when I was young, when we were watching the Grand Prix, and this is way beyond our dreams. And I think it's so important for kids out there to hopefully see this and know that don't listen to anybody that tells you you can't achieve something. Dream the impossible and speak it into existence, and you've got to work for it, you've got to chase it, and you've got to never give up and never doubt yourself.
But the #1 rapper in the world, he done traveled all over the world. He came back just to give you some game. A little money.
1, 2, 1, 2. What's happening, fool?
You. Come on out.
I done been through a whole lot. Tried tribulation, but I know God. The devil wanna put me in a bow tie. Played at the holy water, don't go try, yeah. As I look around me, so many motherfuckers wanna do me, but enemy can never drown me. In front of a dirty double mirror, they found me, and I love my. I want you looking at me. Tell me what do you see? I love myself. I put a bullet in the back of the head of the bullet. I love myself. Illuminated by the hand of God, boy, don't seem shy. I love myself. One day at a time.
If fans wanted drama, then 2020 was certainly delivering, but it wasn't over yet, as F1 headed to the Middle East for the final triple header at Bahrain and Abu Dhabi.
It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton then gets away well, Verstappen off the line well, and he's already wheel-to-wheel with Valtteri Bottas, and there is Alex Albon on the inside of Bottas as well, and Perez coming up on the inside of Verstappen, who is now in 2nd place. That damage for Lando Norris, that's certainly damage, and a big fire there. Unsurprisingly, that is a red flag. That was horrendous.
So unusual to see.
If ever there is proof of the risks and the dangers of motorsport, it is the wreckage of that Haas car that we're watching now.
Yeah.
And for the 2nd time, Hamilton gets away well, and Bottas gets past Alex Albon.
We have got an incident at the back there.
Okay, hanging upside down.
Valtteri Bottas down in 16th after getting a puncture. Oh, Carlos Sainz moves up into 7th place.
This is Norris catching Gasly then for 5th place.
Oh no, it's getting worse for Sergio Perez. That's it.
There's a guy running across the track.
This looks like the Bahrain Grand Prix is going to finish behind the safety car. Lewis Hamilton has come through to win the Bahrain Grand Prix, and Red Bull, with second and third, get both drivers on the podium.
In possibly the most memorable and certainly the most spine-chilling footage of 2020, Haas's Romain Grosjean escaped from a violent and fiery crash that saw his car pierce the safety barrier and split in two. The quick thinking of the marshals and medical team saved the Frenchman, who was trapped sideways in an accident not seen in F1 for many years. Thankfully, he was left relatively unscathed and was able to thank his rescuers a couple of days later. He sat down with Martin Brundle to discuss the accident.
Hi mate, how are you?
Straight away, when movement stops, open my eyes, and the first thing I did, undo the seatbelt, try to remove the wheel, it was gone, so at least one less concern, and then try to jump out.
But the flames are already erupting all around you.
Initially, if I take through from that point, it's 28 seconds, but for me it looks more like 1 minute 30, and you will see through the explanation. So it stops, I open my eyes, I undo the seatbelt, steering wheel gone, and I want to jump out, and I hit something on top of my helmet. I feel I hit something, so I sit back down and say, oh, I must be upside down against the barrier, so I will wait that they come and help me. So I sit back down and I look on the right and I look on the left, and then I say, oh, it's all orange. That's strange. Few things. Is it sunset? No, it's not sunset. Is the light from the circuits? No. Also the tear-off starts to melt. So, oh, it's fire. Okay, no, I don't have time that they come. So this time I try to go up a bit more to the right, doesn't work. Go back down, try a bit more to the left, doesn't work. So I sit back down, and then there's a bit of swearing going on. And I said, no, I can't finish like this. I can't finish like this. I thought about Niki Lauda. To me, it's funny, is the driver that I love the most to history of Formula One. And I said, no, I can't finish like Niki. I can't finish like this. It cannot be my last race. It cannot be my last race. So I try again. I'm stuck. And then comes the part which is the less funny one. Funny is not the word, but the most scary one is I sit back down, all my muscle relaxes, almost not have a smile, but in peace with myself, thinking I'm dead, I will die. And then I thought, which part's gonna burn first? Is it the foot? Is it the hands? Is it gonna be painful? Very, very strange feeling, you know. I think, you know, sometimes we are close to death, we're a bit scared. This time death for me was here, and I named it Benoit. Don't ask me why. I just had to put a name on it, and I call it Benoit. And then I don't know if that moment allowed me to recover a bit, get my brain, try to find another solution. I thought about my kids, and I said, no, I cannot die today. For my kids, I cannot die. I've got to see them. And then I had the idea to twist my head like this, go up and turn my body, and it works, but then my foot is stuck on the pedal. So I've got to go back down in the car, pull as hard as I can on my left leg. I mean, the shoe stayed where my foot was, and my foot came out. And then I do it again, and I went through, and the shoulder went through, and at the time I knew the shoulder had passed the halo part. I was going to leave. You know, I know I've got two of my hands on the fire. On the halo, I can see my gloves. They're red normally. They start going full black, and I can feel the pain and the burn. But I'm going up. Then I jump on the barrier, and then I feel Ian that pulls on my overall, and that is an extraordinary feeling. When he pulls me, I'm like, there's someone with me. I'm alive. And I'm gonna, and then I feel like on my back they touch me, so I'm like, oh, am I on fire? You know, I'm on fire from the back. And then Ian talks to me, says, sit down. You know, very, as you would with anyone that could have had a concussion or so on. And I gave him, I say, talk to me normally. So I guess from that point he knew I was okay.
Coherent.
And then Jean Todt came in the medical center, and he asked me my wife's number straight away. So I gave him the number, and then he tried calling. It's on a voicemail. He tried to with a voicemail. I'm like, no. Eventually, Marion, it's Jean. I'm with Romain. And then he puts on speakerphone and say, Mosquito. I call my wife Mosquito. Yeah. Mosquito, I'm here. And she exploded in a laugh as well as cry. And she was with the kids and my dad. And it lasted 5 seconds there. But she knew I was alive.
The first Bahrain race would ultimately prove to be Romain Grosjean's last in F1. He would be unable to race in the Sakhir Grand Prix and the season finale in Abu Dhabi. And so, having said his goodbyes to the team, his place would be filled by Haas reserve driver Pietro Fittipaldi. But in one of the craziest years for F1, it was just about to get even crazier.
The breaking news is that Lewis Hamilton has tested positive for coronavirus.
The newly crowned 7-time world champion tested positive for COVID-19 off the back of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and his inability to race would form part of a remarkable week in motorsport. Williams' George Russell was gifted the coveted seat covering for Hamilton. Replacing Russell at Williams would be the team's reserve driver Jack Aitken, making his F1 debut. In amongst this excitement, Haas announced that Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher would be their new drivers for the 2021 season, replacing Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen. Mick, meanwhile, would be crowned the F2 champion in Bahrain after his 7th and 4th place finishes in the sprint and feature races were enough to beat the fellow Ferrari Academy driver Callum Ilott to the title. But for now, it was the second race at Bahrain on a different circuit layout. Surely we couldn't have another dramatic race in the desert.
It's lights out and away we go. Russell does get away well, as does Max Verstappen, and Valtteri Bottas has got his teammate right alongside him already. And George Russell takes the lead on the Sakhir Grand Prix. Look up there as Perez is caught by Charles Leclerc, and there's 3 cars gone off.
I couldn't do anything there.
And it's George Russell then leading the way. Alex Albon, that is what he can do in Formula One. There is Nicholas Latifi. Here comes Sergio Perez on Esteban Ocon. Sergio Perez, for the 2nd week in a row here in Bahrain, is running in the podium places.
Checo, at the moment your pace is seriously strong.
Come on, Checo, let's get the podium that you missed out on last week.
They're not happy with it, with his left front.
And this is costing Bottas. He's gone from 2nd to 5th while all that was happening.
Okay, George, we're going to need to box. We have a mixed tyre set on the car.
Basically, what's happened is they've got some of Bottas's tyres on, or indeed all of Bottas's tyres on.
Guess who's leading the race? Sergio Perez, ladies and gentlemen. George Russell overtakes Valtteri Bottas. That was committed. It was brave. It was brilliant. Come on, Russell, do the hustle.
Looks like a rear left puncture.
George. So Russell's coming in now.
I don't know what to say.
The man who was in last place at the end of lap 1 comes home to win the Sakhir Grand Prix. Esteban Ocon take a bow, his first podium in Formula One, and it's the first ever double podium for Racing Point.
Yes!
What an unbelievable race, and to one of the craziest weeks in motorsport, we can add Perez's first ever race win, Esteban Ocon's first ever podium, and Racing Point's first ever double podium finish to the list. Absolute joy for Sergio, who at this stage of the season still had no drive for 2021. And at the other end of the emotional spectrum, George Russell denied a fairy tale ending to his hugely impressive Mercedes debut.
A mixture of emotions. I've got it out of my system so far.
You got it out very quickly, I have to say.
Wise words from my parents, Toto, James, Bono. Hugged it out, cried it out a little bit, and yeah, I'm proud to be honest.
What did your parents say to you? What did Toto say to you?
Well, my mum couldn't speak because I think my mum was probably in tears, so she put my dad on the phone. And he was just like, you've got so much to be proud of, and, incredibly proud of you. And that was yours today, so that was nice. And likewise from Toto, he said, you drove like a champion, so... Yeah, I don't know what to say, and I think we all feel it, to be honest. It was almost a fairy tale. But hopefully it puts Toto in a difficult position now moving forward. So if I've managed to achieve that, at least that's one victory in itself.
I don't want to be too excited because I've dreamed of this time so many times that when I woke up
it hurts, So I don't know. I have to make sure this is not a dream,
No, it's not a dream. If I could reach to pinch you, I would. But
do it, please. Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Not dreaming.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. You're impossible to ignore now. Surely the phone is going to ring for a seat for next year.
I don't think, to be honest, it changes. Already my picture was getting clearer. If I'm not on the grid next year, I already have options to come back for 22. So I'm in peace with myself. If I have to be here, I'm more than committed to do so for next year. If not, I will take a year, but I'm more determined than ever to be back in 22, because I believe that this is a place where I need to be. I'm only 30 years old, so I got the best years ahead of me. So I'm determined to come back and come back strong.
In a year like no other, it was time to head to Abu Dhabi for this season finale. Perez's brilliant maiden victory had given Racing Point a decent but far from unassailable advantage in the Constructors' Championship. They led fourth-place McLaren by 10 points. But the big question was answered midweek when it was announced that Lewis Hamilton would be back with Mercedes for the last race after recording negative coronavirus tests. He'd served a 10-day period of isolation in Bahrain, which ended on the Thursday of race week, and George Russell would head back to Williams with his head held high. Could Lewis Hamilton secure pole position on his return?
It's the last qualifying of the season. Welcome along to the Yas Marina circuit. Hamilton's back on pole. Who can now deny him? Valtteri Bottas by 6/100ths of a second. What a last sector that was. But what about Max Verstappen? Max Verstappen's taken pole.
This feels good. Well done, guys. Amazing.
So Max Verstappen, with an awesome lap, produced the only non-Mercedes pole position of 2020. Could he complete the job come sundown on Sunday?
Welcome along to the season finale for Formula One this season.
Final dance. Yep. Thank you, boys. 55 laps. Everything we got.
It's lights out, and away we go. Verstappen ahead of Bottas. Norris getting a good start, but behind Lewis Hamilton. Sainz and Albon neck and neck going into the first corner. Can he get by here? He's going down the inside, Alex Albon, on Lando Norris, who didn't seem to fight that one too strongly. Ricciardo then released like a thoroughbred in the final furlong with the reins loosened to go and gallop after Gasly. Here comes Lance Stroll on Daniel Kvyat, with Lance Stroll moving up into 7th place. Down the inside, Pierre Gasly on Daniel Kvyat, brave and bold, and he's made that stick. Oh, Sergio Perez, what's happened here? Mechanical issues.
Box.
That's going to be a long way on that tyre, man.
Copy loose. We still go for it.
Carlos Sainz, and he has got past Charles Leclerc. The Ferrari breezes past Lance Stroll.
Big lock up there from Stroll.
Pierre Gasly has gone down the inside of Lance Stroll. Charles Leclerc on Kimi Raikkonen. Could brake so much later than Kimi Raikkonen, can't he? And he dances around the Alfa Romeo that then fights back. Kimi Raikkonen, the most experienced driver on the grid. 10.3 seconds, the gap between Verstappen and Bottas. Hamilton within 2 seconds of his teammate. Verstappen wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Yes! What a great race.
Bottas finishes ahead of Hamilton in 2nd and 3rd. For the 7th time in his Formula One career, Lewis Hamilton, world champion.
Very nearly a Grand Slam for Max, having secured pole and won whilst leading every lap, but narrowly missing out after Daniel Ricciardo pipped him to the fastest lap. A terrific finish nonetheless, ending the strangest of seasons on a high. Elsewhere, McLaren were delighted after finishing 3rd in the Constructors, their highest place since 2013. Racing Point had to settle for 4th, while Sergio Perez's DNF not helping their points tally in Abu Dhabi. Sebastian Vettel waved goodbye to Ferrari, a disappointing season for them as they finished out of the top 5 and will look to bounce back in 2021. From the uncertainty and huge disruptions caused to the sport's 2020 plans by the coronavirus pandemic in the first half of the year, a breathless but dramatic 17-race schedule in 24 weeks across Europe and the Middle East was completed. 13 different drivers finished on the podium, the first time that's happened since 2012. And we had 5 different winners, of which 2 secured their maiden victories. Some drivers we say goodbye to, for now at least, while some switch teams. But the biggest story of all was that of Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. There are no swans a-swimming at this time of year, but there are 7 very impressive stars shining brightly in the F1 paddock, and it'll be a very Merry Christmas for the men and women at Brackley, Brixworth and beyond.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.